I didn't realize how powerful a tool I had at first. As a teacher, we all realize that graphic organizers can be a big help in the classroom for English language learners and for all students. It can be difficult in the math classroom matching ELD standards, that's English language development standards, to the math curriculum. And especially, they're really closely aligned to English language arts, but not to math. But the thing is, math needs CALP. That's cognitive academic language proficiency. Math is such a precise activity. You need a precise language to back it up. And so that's where these graphic organizers work. This particular one is special in that not only does it help with language development, but so often in math, we need rote memorization. I know with the shift to Common Core, we want students to understand the processes. We want them to understand how things work, why things work. We don't want them to just plug in the numbers and get the answers. That's not how it works anymore. But you can't always get away from it. And so one thing that I think is gonna help is memorizing the quadratic formula. And that's where this comes in. That's what this is. This is a graphic organizer to help you memorize and understand the quadratic formula. I'll show you how I made it. So here, take a look.
So we begin with a half sheet of paper and cut lengthwise. And then we're going to fold it in half, lengthwise again, hot dog or churro style if we're in the dessert mood. All right, there we go. And then you have the students folded again in thirds. And these are my creases here, these gray lines. And then we can begin to fill it out. Now that the paper is folded correctly, you're going to have the students draw a big line right down the long crease in the middle, and that'll be the fraction line separating the numerator from the denominator. We'll start out with negative b plus or minus, and then we'll do our square root all the way across there. And then in this middle section, we're going to have b squared minus 4ac. And then this is all over 2a. And so you'll notice that in each section is a piece of or a chunk of the quadratic formula, and that's important to helping them remember. And then we're going to break it down further by separating out different sections while maintaining the order of operations. So to make sure you have enough room, we'll start on the outside and work our way in, drawing some boxes in a particular color order. So we're going to start with blue all the way to the outside of your box, of your piece of paper. Now obviously mine is done with the computer, so it's a lot cleaner but on your piece of paper you just draw blue line all the way around, and then take a green color, and then we're going to do just the numerator but stay inside the blue box. So you'll see there, and then we're going to break it down to orange, and that'll be everything inside the square root area. So here's our orange rectangle. Here we go. And this is, once again, we're trying to keep the order of operations as we work through it. So that's why we're kind of boxing out the areas. All right, and then I just want to box this last 4ac, just like that. So, and that's the front of the graphic organizer. Now, in helping the students get to remember this equation, what you can do is have them work in partners or in groups and quiz each other on what's in what box. So you can say, you can turn your partner and say, okay, what's in the red box? And they have to come back with 4ac. Okay, what's in the orange box? Well, it's square root of b squared minus, and then you have to say everything that's inside the more internal box. So 4ac, and what's in the green box? It's negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. But you have to remember more and more each with each box. So you start with the red, try to remember what's in there. Remember the orange, what's in the orange box, what's in the green box, what's in the blue box, and then you'll remember the whole thing. And that way, when you repeat it over and over again, it goes into long-term memory for the students. And that's how the graphic organizer works. And then what I do on the back is to kind of bring in some language development. I'll show you kind of bring in some of that CALP language. Now, on the back of the half sheet of paper is where we can build some of the more academic language aspects of learning math. The top half of the paper, you'd have the students write a definition of the quadratic formula. So we can put it down. Okay, so I wrote here the definition that I made up for quadratic formula as a tool for determining the roots or solutions of a quadratic equation of the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Now, obviously, this is a very technical way of describing it, and that's on purpose. You can then have the students kind of turn to each other and try to rephrase in their own words what that means. And by turn to each other, I mean either cooperative learning groups or their working partners, and then they can put their own word definition or example down here in the bottom, and that can take up the whole bottom, and that way you have a real academic sentence describing the formula on top, and then maybe more of a Bix, or kind of connect it to their prior knowledge in a different way from a language standpoint, as well as just memorizing the math. And that's the back of the graphic organizer.
All right, and here's the final product. So when you're done, it should look like this, and this will allow the students to go through it as one person put it in rainbow order: red, orange, green, blue. Yellow wouldn't work on this paper. So that's it, and that's the graphic organizer. Thank you.